Hello everyone and welcome to GameCast. My name is Ben and I will be your commentator for the GameCast channel. I will cover NFL and NCAA content as well as other topics for your viewing pleasure. But let's get that out of the way and just get to the NFL football, because this Wildcard weekend was insane. Houston versus the Chargers. Coming into this game, I had expectations that Harbaugh and the Chargers were going to get this done pretty handily. CJ Stroud fell into a sophomore slump and hasn't looked like the same offensive rookie of the year player he was last year, and that was my main thought going into this game. He still didn't have a fantastic game by any means, but it was better than the absolute abysmal game that Herbert had. My expectations were completely flipped from what I thought this result would be. I thought that the Chargers would come in here and handle this Houston Texans team with relative ease. Even though the Chargers don't have very much going on offense, they have looked like the better team in recent weeks. But man, this was just a disaster for the Chargers. At the start of this game, it looked like it was going to go the Chargers' way, going up 6-0 off of a fumble by John Mechie on Houston's first play. But that would be the majority of their points for the game after going up with that score. And the Texans continued struggling on offense, where the Chargers could have taken control of this game, but missed opportunities and bad execution by the Chargers was their downfall. And I wouldn't say that CJ Stroud had a great game. He had a mediocre game, going 282, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception, and had a 66% completion percentage. But Justin Herbert went 242, 1 touchdown, and 4 interceptions with a 43% completion percentage. One of the worst playoff performances I've ever seen in my lifetime. And that's just absolutely inexcusable by somebody who was named by many as a top 10 quarterback just last year. There really isn't much to talk about for this game besides the simple ass kicking that the Texans defense gave to the Chargers. Near the end of the first half, the Texans go up 10-6, starting what would be an absolute blowout by the Texans. I can't even understand it myself. Like, I went into this game thinking the Chargers were going to win. I am a Chiefs fan. I don't like rooting for the Chargers, but watching Houston football these last couple weeks was just simply torture. But nearing the end of the third quarter, Houston kicks a field goal to go up 13-6. From here, the Chargers really had no hope. Justin Herbert couldn't stay off of his back, and the offensive line just wasn't blocking very well. That Houston pass rush is no joke. So if you try to test it and you try to, stay in the pocket too long, you're going to regret it. And if you thought things couldn't get any worse, Justin Herbert throws a pick six to put the Texans up 20-6. And if things couldn't get any worse to the Chargers, after a Ladd McConkey touchdown, their extra point was blocked and taken back for an extra 2 points for the Houston Texans. Gosh, this was just a massacre on the defensive front. I mean, there was no stopping the Houston Texans defense. They just played out of their mind, as well as their special teams with that play right there. Joe Mixon to cap it off with an angry run. And that's game over, folks. Pittsburgh versus Baltimore. If I'm going to be completely honest, I stopped watching this game after about the third quarter-ish, just because I knew that the Ravens were going to win this game. Pittsburgh, gosh, the fall off from 10-3 to 10-7, are you kidding me? Mike Tomlin, your ass. Russell Wilson, your ass. Minkah Fitzpatrick, your ass. George Pickens, your ass. This is the most frustrated I've been with a team that isn't the Kansas City Chiefs in a very long time. I cannot understand how they are just so unbelievably bad with the defense that they have not only, and the expectations on offense, they just completely flop every time that they're needed to do anything. I knew that the Steelers were frauds from the moment that they lost to the Kansas City Chiefs. You could just see that that team is not a contender in the National Football League, despite what everybody was saying about them after they started 10-3 and were leading the AFC North. People thought that they could be legitimate contenders, but I'm sorry to say, the Pittsburgh Steelers have and will be frauds for the next 5 years at least, as long as Tomlin is there, and it's just sad to see, especially because they just can't do anything on offense. Justin Fields started the year 4-2, and It looked like Russell Wilson was going to be the guy because he went 6-2 with this offense and with this team, but then he ended the season 6-6. They didn't give Justin Fields enough of a chance to play, and I think that Justin Fields could have been a better performer than Russell Wilson was, just because he doesn't know how to finish games. But let me put my ranting aside and just say, this was an entertaining game to watch, if you were a Ravens fan, because Derrick Henry was unstoppable on the ground, Lamar Jackson was decent through the air, he didn't make any costly mistakes or anything, and Isaiah Likely went off in this game as well. It was just an entertaining game to watch because the physicality of the Baltimore Ravens in this game just completely outmatched the Steelers. I really would hate to see this team in the AFC Championship game, but they face off against Buffalo next week, and that'll be a great game to watch for sure. But there really isn't much more to say about this game. It was 21-0 about 5 minutes into the third quarter. This is when the Steelers decided, oh, we can actually play some football, and they go in, they score a touchdown to make it 21-7. Honestly, after that, it was just mostly garbage time. The Ravens got another touchdown with Derrick Henry, and that basically seals the game, besides one more touchdown to George Pickens in garbage time when it didn't matter. Congratulations, Steelers. You are the lol cow of the week. You guys fucking suck. Buffalo versus the Broncos. Oh my god, the Broncos beat the Chiefs 38-0. Oh my god, they're so ass. Shut the fuck up. I am so glad to see the Broncos and the Chargers downfall this weekend. As a Chiefs fan, it just warms my heart a little bit. But we do have to give props to Bo Nix and the Broncos for making it this far. On this first drive, he unloads an absolute dot to Troy Franklin. But that's all of Broncos offense in a nutshell for this game. They didn't do anything after, scoring 0 points the rest of the game, which is honestly disappointing, to say the least. I thought this game was going to be a shootout. Josh Allen and the Bills absolutely rolled them, and that's all you really got to say about this game. I'll show some highlights of it, but 31-7, the Broncos didn't do very much, and the Buffalo Bills dominated this entire game. Will Josh Allen be able to beat the Ravens? I think so. I'll take the Bills. But it's the battle of the MVPs, and we'll see how that plays out next weekend. Green Bay versus Philadelphia. This game was probably the most boring of this wild card slate, just because Green Bay wasn't at full strength. Plus, the Eagles just simply didn't play very well. I mean, yes, they won by 12 points, but they didn't have the offensive firepower that I really thought they would have. But starting this game for Green Bay, they start out with a fumble on the opening kickoff, and it was really over from there. They just didn't have the weapons that they were supposed to have. If this game was played earlier in the season, it might have already. I'm a casual, I don't really know. But if this game was played with both of these teams at full strength, I think it would have gone a different direction, or it would have just been a closer game in general. But again, this was one of the most boring games on the wild card slate. But the Eagles do start out with a touchdown to Jahan Dotson. I honestly forgot he was still in the NFL, if I'm being honest, but looks like he can play some playoff football. After this, Eagles kick a field goal to take a 10-0 lead right at the end of the first quarter. Then Jordan Love does his best Brett Favre impression and throws an absolute arm punt to Darius Slay. Then the Eagles go 3 and out. Saquon Barkley can't carry your entire offense, Jalen Hurts. Then the Packers put together a scoring drive, kicking a field goal that they miss. And Brandon McManus, you're cut. Say hello to my wife and her boyfriend in Cancun for me. Then Dallas Goedert reminds everybody that he's a grown-ass man. After that, the Eagles lead 16-3 after a missed extra point. I honestly don't get how these kickers just keep missing. It's their only fucking job, but anyways. Then Josh Jacob told this white boy, "Aw, hell nah, get the fuck out my way," then hit him with the stiff arm that sent us back generations. Then on the next play, Josh Jacob pushes his way through for the score, making the score 16-10. After this, the Eagles kick a field goal to make it 19-10, and things are starting to look scary for the Packers. Then they kick another field goal to make it 22-10, and that's the final score for the game. Packers, welcome to Cancun. Washington versus Tampa Bay. Wildcard weekend was built for games like this. Rookie Jaden Daniels versus Baker Mayfield turned into an absolute classic. I thought that Jaden Daniels could take over this game and possibly win this game, but it still surprised me at the fact that he did win this game. Washington is in the divisional round. Tampa Bay starts off with a field goal, and then on the next drive, Washington goes for it on 4th and 2, and they don't convert, giving the ball back to the Buccaneers. And when I was watching this game, I was like, ah, shit, that's not a good start. Psych, Jaden Daniels to the end zone, Diami Brown touchdown to go up 7-3. Jaden Daniels really has looked outstanding in his rookie year, and I'm excited for his future. As the Bucs go empty on their next drive, Washington kicks another field goal to go up 10-3. Shortly on the next drive, Baker responds with a touchdown to Mike Evans. Freaking voice crack. I think Mike Evans is the greatest receiver I've ever seen in my time, no glaze. But Washington kicks another field goal to go up 13-10. I like how competitive this game was compared to the other wildcard games. And then on the next drive, Baker starts cooking. He throws to Mike Evans for a big first down and more. He gets suplexed on that play, and that play sets them up to go up 17-3 against the Washington Commanders with 4 minutes left in the third. I know I kind of sound stupid commentating like this. I've already seen the game, but it's been a crazy wild card weekend, and I want to be dramatic as possible. Jaden Daniels throws a touchdown. Just kidding. Turnover on downs, and now the Bucs have control of this game. And just when you think that the Bucs are going to run away with this happens. Baker Mayfield botches the snap and Washington recovers, leading to a Washington touchdown to Scary Terry. At this point in the game, I was thinking, oh my goodness, they could actually do it. But it took them a few more drives to get things to where they could set up a game-winning field goal, stopping them on a 3rd and inches so that the Bucs would have to take a field goal to tie the game. Going into this final drive, I was thinking about how will this affect LeBron's legacy as Jaden Daniels marches down the field, dotting up his receivers and making sure they run down the clock so that they can attempt a 37-yard field goal for the game. Congratulations, Washington. You've officially escaped purgatory. I salute you. This is going to be really shitty, but my predictions for the Lions versus the Rams on Monday night, I'm going to take the Rams winning 27-13. I just like the Rams better than Sam Darnold in his first playoff game, and you have Matthew Stafford on the other side who's won a Super Bowl before. You can hate me all you want. I think the Vikings are just a little bit fraudulent. I could be wrong, but we'll have to see. Thank y'all for watching, though, and I hope y'all enjoyed. Make sure you like and subscribe, and hopefully I'll be back for the divisional round. Peace.